What's up everyone, it's Gabby Trades here and welcome back to the channel. Today we have the FOMC day, but when we look beneath the surface, of course, it's not going to be the only thing that's happening today. We actually have four major stories that are colliding all at the same time. So before we get started, as usual, make sure to smash the lucky like today and say hi in the chat box. You guys, you know how much I love to see everyone in the chat box. All right, backstage, are we doing good on music? Hello everyone. All right, let's get going immediately here. All right, that's the old screen. Okay, I can never get it right the first time. It's just impossible for me. Anyways, all good. Okay, cool. All right, so you know, there's few things that are happening at the moment, but of course the major story is going to remain the FOMC today. All right, so he's gonna have to make, Kevin Warren's gonna have to make some very difficult rate decision today amidst other things that are happening, which are Middle East escalating again. The AI trade is under pressure, we saw in the following days, and pretty much what's happening right now is Bitcoin is sitting in between of all of that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna investigate sort of how this thing can go and what's the most likely outcome so we can prepare for that. So of course the main event is like we said, the FOMC. Now we know that in the decision today is going to come, let's have a look. I think it was 2 p.m. right? Let's just double check everything. I'm pretty sure it was 2 p.m. Yeah, so we have the 2 p.m. FOMC minutes, and then we have 2:30, which is going to be followed by the FOMC press conference today. Now, when we sort of go in the past and look at everything and say, okay, so at the previous meeting, the Fed kind of decided to leave the rate between 3.5, 3.75, and right now, generally everyone, most economists and everyone is still expecting that he's going to do another hold today. But the meeting is actually really unpredictable because all the articles, everything is saying it's going to be a surprise either way, right? Wild card. So, you know, the reason we're seeing all this everywhere in the news articles is because now we have an estimate of 30% chance of a surprise interest rate hike. Okay, so, you know, that still means that hold is going to be the most likely outcome, but hike is actually no longer something that we as traders can completely ignore. Okay, so the thing with all of this is that when we look at inflation, right? In June, we had the inflation. It was cooler than expected, which was great news for us. Hello, Casio. Everyone, make sure to smash the like button. Make sure to share this video with someone that could potentially benefit because, of course, we give the latest and the most important information here out to everyone. But the CPI in June, right? We had the inflation report, it was cooler. So the point is that when we looked at the CPI report, if you remember, we did it together, was that it was cooler because the energy prices were lower. But we do have a problem with oil once again, because oil is moving up one more time. Would you look at that? It's moving exactly from the 78 point. This is with the help of our indicators. This is with the help of our trading analysis. We said that it's going to be in between levels. So this was the level. If we look on the daily, actually, it's even more crazy, right? Because that was the massive liquidity that we were expecting for it to grab. And then look, we're retesting it again. So it's not very great at the moment. So when you think about the Fed again, he is going to be looking at inflation data and he's going to be saying, okay, well, the data is saying that things may be improving, but the oil is going to say a completely different story. Oil is going to be like, not so fast. So, you know, the Fed could keep rates unchanged, you know, but the problem is that it's a high probability that his message is going to be hawkish, basically telling that, you know, there are chances of some increase. The chances of an increase remain. Hello, Missy. Hello, Mamo. No, please don't. Okay, when you see her back, like shaking a little bit, you know she's like planning to do something. So the point is, with all of this oil right now, no missing, is going to be even more important what he says rather than what the decision is. So what are we going to be listening to, right? We're going to be looking for phrases, right? So let's say the Fed comes out and he's like, well, inflation risks are remaining elevated, okay? Energy prices are creating new pressures. That sort of thing is going to be very hawkish, right? If he says something like the Fed is prepared to act, or something like maybe additional tightening is possible, that is going to be a very bad scenario for us, okay? So, while the Fed is trying to sort all this, the problem is that decision is going to get even more difficult now. Why? Well, because, smash the like button, welcome everyone, because we also have the problem in the Middle East at the moment. Okay, let's have a look. Look at that. I thought we were getting somewhere, right? It seemed like we were really getting somewhere, and then again, Iran is launching ballistic missiles towards, U.S. military bases in Jordan. Okay, and they're reportedly intercepting everything, doing a great job, of course, as usual. But the U.S. is, of course, they're going to respond immediately. So this kind of thing is really important for the markets and for traders, because we were really pricing in for those tensions to be cooling down. And now that's, that assumption is being challenged one more time. And we saw what happened with oil immediately. So it's very, that's a 5% jump immediate. So we have to reconsider the risk due to all of these disruptions in, in the Middle East region. Okay, the next part of the investigation today that we're carrying on is going to be the AI trade, the semiconductors. Semiconductors, they're continuing to sell off. Look at that. Philadelphia Semiconductor Index falling down almost 4.5% during Tuesday, yesterday's session. Micron, everyone related, they're suffering heavy losses right now. So, that index is currently sort of falling into bear market territory, and is going to tell us that investors are becoming super skeptical about the AI trade, right? And they're going to be asking real questions right now. And the questions are clear. How much money are these companies spending, right? And when are we going to produce enough profit to justify all of these spendings? So, of course, that is going to bring us immediately to Meta, Microsoft, and all of these companies. They're going to be reporting, right, after the market close, right? Wednesday after market, Microsoft, Meta reporting, and on tomorrow we also have Apple and Amazon. So, we said it many times, but let's say it just one more time so everyone's on the same page. Strong earnings alone are not going to be enough anymore. Traders are going to be listening for three things. First, how fast is the AI revenue growing? Is it growing at all? Okay, second, how much Microsoft, how much Meta are planning to spend on their data centers, on their infrastructure, on their chips? And third, most importantly, is the management actually showing any, anything that's turning into stronger profits? Like, is there any evidence of that? Because the market is becoming super impatient with these guys. Okay, so looking at all of this, what are we going to be thinking? Well, what are our scenarios at the moment, right? So let's say we have the super bullish scenario, okay? Nasdaq at a buy zone, everything is great. So the bullish scenario, the Fed is going to keep the rates unchanged because that's already sort of expected. And he kind of goes there and he's avoiding any strong warnings about another hike. That's going to be great. So, the ideal scenario is going to also come with oil retracing after that geopolitical spike that we got right now. And then most importantly, we want to see Meta and Microsoft to give us some significant evidence that their AI investments are creating some sort of meaningful revenue. That combination is going to be good. That combination might weaken that dollar that's super strong at the moment, right? Dollar is extremely bullish at the moment. Right? We want to see the treasury yields getting lower because that is going to support a good recovery across the assets that we care, right? The risk assets such as Bitcoin, etc., Nasdaq, whatever. The bearish scenario is going to be, let's say the Fed comes out and he unexpectedly raises rates. Like, that's going to be bad. But also, let's say he keeps them unchanged, but delivers that hawkish message. Okay. And then on top of that, again, we're going to have to look at oil, and then oil does what? Well, remains elevated because we have that further escalation in the Middle East, and then Microsoft and Meta disappoint investors with another weaker guidance and another major increase in spending. That combination is not going to be good for the tech stocks. It's not going to be good for Bitcoin and altcoins. So there you go. That's your cheat sheet for today. So it's really important that we keep all of these things in mind for today. So right now we have about 20 minutes until market open, and we're going to look at all of the charts, and I'm going to tell you exactly how I'm positioned and what I'm planning to do. So stay with me till the end, and make sure to smash that like button and say hi in the chat box, of course. Hello, Diamond Eyes, Mind Tapestry. Top of the morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. All right, so now that we got all this out of the way, before I mess up my system here completely. All right. So we already kind of discussed what happens with oil. You know, of course, from key areas, key zones, oil is reacting. Now, what's happening with Bitcoin at the same time? Okay, let's just zoom in here a little bit. So Bitcoin actually, for me, you know, right now is acting very predictably. So I'm able to really manage this asset very, very well at the moment. And my current positions, and everyone on Discord knows what I do because I notified them first with every trade that I take. So you guys, again, if you're not on Discord, make sure to join GabbyTrades.com. You can find the links in the description box just down here. It's completely for free to join our community. The mentorship and everything else you can find over there. The point is that we've been just absolutely killing it. We're tired of winning, basically, in our community. So Bitcoin is very predictable. Why is it predictable? Well, yesterday we discussed, I have a short from 65,200. That was a very clear short. So right now, yesterday, as we were dropping down and everything was getting increasingly scary, Ethereum was at support and Bitcoin was also reaching demand zone, previous demand zone. So if we go on the 4-hour time frame, and also one thing that I discussed with everyone else earlier is that this move is, you know, reminding me a lot at the previous two sell formations over here. So, you know, what am I going to expect if that's going to be a similar move over here, where clearly is going to be Bitcoin rejecting at key levels one more time, which is just what it's doing right now, right? It's rejecting this first formation over here. So that's not good news. Right? But again, we've seen that several times. We reach to the top, right? And then we create a higher low and we drop one more time. So we saw it here, we saw it here, and we might see it here. So what is that going to do? Well, if that really happens today, that's just going to create one more liquidity down here. So yesterday, I was really, you know, fortunate to kind of understand the price action on a lower time frame. It was very clear. So I managed to long down here on this little tiny retracement. So essentially now I'm hedged, right? I'm hedged, funding is negative. So I'm hedged at the moment, and my long is actually paying for my short. Now, the thing is, I actually opened this long with bigger size than my short, and the hedge is working out really well for me at the moment because, you know, you have to be positioned at the best for the best and for the worst case scenario at the same time. Well, thank you. Okay, fine. Well, you're sending me now the thumbnail, but it's already too late. Anyways, we can upload it a little bit later. Okay, so that's what I'm doing. And whichever position wins for me today, I'm happy, all right? And I think really that was the best thing that, you know, could be done in that scenario. Everyone, welcome. Say hi in the chat box. Let's see who's here. Savas. Yeah, everything's going great. Thanks for asking. Hope you're well too. So right now, yeah, we're testing the demand zone once again. That's a previous demand zone, very obvious for Bitcoin. Let's see if we can get another push up. I'm also curious. We have 15 minutes. Hello, Aussie Doodle. So we're going to have the new 15-minute candle opening just about now, and then we're going to evaluate further on. But this is definitely showing some weakness over here. Okay, so that's just important to note. All right, for Ethereum, it was trading kind of strong, actually. We already are showing weakness on ETH even before Bitcoin right now. Now, the difference with Ethereum is, you know, it's been holding and it's been performing a little bit better. Why? Well, because it's been creating higher lows instead of, you know, lower highs in the case of Bitcoin. So now, you know, we have liquidity to the upside that's just being grabbed and is just being taken care of. So the previous one's been taken care of. Is this one going to be taken care of? Or are we going to see, you know, a deeper correction down here, potentially take the Asia lows and then find another support to continue high up? That's going to be quite interesting to see today. Okay, like we said, we have the game plan. For anyone that's just joining, we just reviewed that. Make sure to smash the like button, you guys. Very important. Stay active in the chat box. You know, so make sure to go back at the beginning of the video and watch what we said for the possible scenarios today that we are expecting. Okay, one more thumbnail. Let's have a look at the second one. Yeah, it's all right. Okay, cool. We'll upload that later. All right, so that's where we are. Solana, not interested at all. Still has liquidity on the 1 hourly time frame, but it's not an asset that is giving me too much confidence at the moment to trade. Okay, so we just leave that for a little bit later when a little bit more clarity comes up, and the other cryptos are going to be way more tradable in my opinion. Now let's move to gold real quick. Now, gold has been, you know, again, extremely interesting to trade. It still has liquidity to the upside. So today is going to be a really deciding moment for gold, in my opinion, because we have to understand whether we're going to find strength from either this demand zone to grab that liquidity or from the demand zone below, which, by the way, has been very strong in the past weeks. So let's see what happens. I think today on the lower time frame could be potential entries for gold. So we're going to look at that when the time comes. Otherwise, right? Otherwise, we still are facing that same sort of a scare with the same as the rest of the market as usual. Coming from the 0.5, this could result in sub-zero, and we do have a lot of liquidity. This is the 12-hourly liquidity down here for gold. You guys know very well that this asset is not particularly bullish at the moment. Okay, silver, kind of same thing. You know, I haven't really drawn too much on it, but like we said yesterday, we do have a pretty defined lower time frame range here, mid time frame, that you can sort of navigate to see. You're right smack in the middle at the moment, trading on the 12-hourly, and yeah. Okay, you had a liquidity sweep here trying to maintain above. Let's see if they manage to push it above, then probably it's going to look positive. If they lose it, it's going to be very, very negative, I think. So yeah. We're gonna look at Nasdaq. Do you want to look at the futures or what? Like, do you have a preference? Nasdaq honestly is at a very interesting point right now. To me, that's one of the areas that I told you guys. Futures, yeah, we can look at futures as well. Double liquidity on the futures. Are we looking? That's S&P 500 as the double liquidity. That's, yeah, pretty much the same thing. Honestly, it's weakening a little bit, so it's going to be interesting if the area is going to hold, which in that case, yeah, it's going to be right about here. Okay, so that's kind of the similar area, similar situation at the moment. Of course, you know, the most better and clear areas of retest are going to be a little bit lower. This is highly likely to get some sort of reaction, but the lower areas, like for example, right about here, 26,406, you know, a pullback here, a throwback is going to be quite interesting to see. And then we have some more 25,800, also very key levels for the futures market. Okay. S&P 500, again, we still have that liquidity below. We're starting to lose the support zone that we had, that previous old gap that we had here. We've been trying to hold this support. Now we're sort of losing it. We're bearishly retesting it, so I don't particularly like it. You're making lower highs here, so yeah. I mean, this structure is, you know, here, this leg, it's normal to have reactions from it because it's quite bullish in general. So it's sort of staying within within the proper TA here. But again, rejection up here could result in lower prices here for S&P 500. And of course, if that happens, we're not going to get a lot of compliments here on crypto for sure. Aave looks good. I doubt it, but let's have a look. We'll see. Do we have a drone chart here? Yeah, a bit of recovery. It does actually look good. It does look terrible. So Diamond Eyes completely right to have that analysis over here. It's maintaining, it's creating new highs. It does look good. There will be a lot of resistance within the 105, 112 region. In my opinion, it's going to be a little bit tricky because even if you kind of get to beat those levels, then you have the liquidity here above, and that might be pretty much enough for them to reject price from here. Why? Well, because if you look at this leg right up here, essentially once you draw price above it, you're going to be retesting a lot of supply here that was clearly proven with that move to the downside. Okay, yes, you do have liquidity above, but it's still in a danger territory. You need to consider that very carefully, because also, you're going to have the double liquidity formation on a higher time frame. Of course you will, but if you're going to be extremely conservative, if you're going to be that trader that's looking for massive confirmations, you're going to need really price to trade above, in that case a little bit higher, 114.5. get a retest, confirm that as support, and then maybe we can be talking about something. For now, it's just still way too early, right? We can get a push up and then price could drop down, retest again $68. Like, it's a huge gamble at the moment. Liquidity is extremely thin across crypto right now. So for me, I'll be massively careful with that in general. Okay, so that's what I think. All right, weekly Bitcoin, oh sorry, that's gold. Yeah, weekly on gold looks not very good at the moment, not good at all. So yes, I'm glad they're helping you, Diamond Eyes. That's why I created them, with the idea to help you guys with your trading and everything. Because there's a lot of resources, I guess, that you can learn, but it's one way if you have a mentor and you are sort of following. Okay, so here we are, pre-market. Price is starting to dump a little bit. So let's see if we're gonna get any sort of confirmation here. There is a little bit of support here. I think it should be, honestly, within, well, yeah, 10-minute time frame. I think that's going to be quite key to maintain above this area. Lots of demand here within this push. Why do I see that demand? Well, very simple, because it was a previous supply zone here that price traded through, very convincingly. So we do have Asia high here as well as a potential retest. So we do have two areas here to look forward to for a bounce. Let's see. We do have 5 minutes. We're gonna have the new 5-minute opening right now. Again, on the 5 minutes, that was very nice here, double liquidity formation. You clear the lows, and that's when you had the trades. You also have previous support here. You had one entry, second, third, pretty awesome. But this was pretty much the very, very good entry. Like, if you're really risk oriented and things like that, like, you could potentially come down here and enter from here, but that's not me. I prefer a little bit of confirmation. Yeah, Exactly. The indicators are giving us real-time data, which is the reason why, you know, they're just so good. They're just so good. Okay. So we're currently trading through. That's the new 5 minutes. That's opening a bit angry. So let's see if we're going to get that support down here. That's going to be quite key to see. If not, we might see price drop furthermore today, which is going to be fine. They're probably going to challenge you know, that move up. Even if they want to continue it, I don't think it's going to be just like a one-side thing. They're coming from key areas also, you know, on higher time frame. Lots of supply here, so it makes sense. Everything they're doing, the tape is just so predictable, you guys. If you just know how to read it, you can be very, very good at this. Rare earths, I haven't looked at them for a bit. What was the ticker? Let's have a look. A little bit more, I think. I have my alert a little bit lower. It could be honestly, but today it really needs to reverse if that's going to be the case. A 4-hourly, yeah, I guess you do have a case on the 4-hourly. I just wanted it a little bit lower. I can't remember the reason. Oh yeah, because it's a clear. But again, you know, the zone is a little bit bigger than this. Like, it's not specifically down here, but I would say you know, definitely within this region. We just need to see a little bit more structure on it. In my opinion, at the moment, you're still printing lower highs and lower lows. So you need a little bit more evidence, right? There's a lot of supply. You're just sort of retesting a little bit. It's just not enough evidence that this is going to reverse. So if you're striking from right now at around 13.5, you're taking a huge risk. And essentially, you know, where are you going to put your stop loss, right? Where are you going to put your stop loss? You have to put your stop loss way below. I mean, I guess you can, but it's still a huge risk considering you have, you know, crazy liquidities from a long time ago, last year. You could really get to these levels as well, so I'd be just extremely careful. But there is a lot of evidence here on the chart that if you maintain these levels, you could see you know, $18, $19, $20. Like, that's the evidence on the chart that if you maintain $13, $14, right, you could potentially get that extension. That's what the evidence on the tape is showing. Okay, but you desperately need that recovery today, because if you close it lower today, I'd say it's probably gonna see a little bit more. You want to see price trading above $14 for sure today, and maintenance of that, you know, maintenance of that level for sure. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it does. A lot of things look like a mega opportunity right now, but we also need to remember that, you know, the trend, essentially, you need to be a little bit careful, because weekly doesn't look that hot at the moment. And, you know, if you're sort of hoping on the weekly, right, you do have to get some evidence right now immediately. Otherwise, you have more lows exposed, and you have huge buy zone area between 10 and, you know, $5. So yeah, if you drop down, maybe, yeah, for DCA, I think it makes sense. Here is a gamble, but also it does make sense for them to pull it back, because you've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 consecutive you know, red weeks. it's probably very likely for this to pull back eventually, very soon. And yeah, if you get a, you know, a substantial move from here, it could be, look, the evidence is showing that this area, if you hold that area, you can see $20-30, right? I mean, it really is here. There is demand, which is important. This is what you want to see on the chart, right? That's what we're here for. We want to see that demand. Of course, we want to be aware of the supply as well, but, you know, buying is what makes the money here. Yeah, so gold back at demand, but honestly, it just looks really sus at the moment. I have to be very careful if I'm going to trade it today, which I probably will. If they put here on the 15-minute, well, market's open right now. Let's see how we are reacting. Dropping. Let's have a look at crypto as well. Okay, bearishly retesting here. That's not good. So they're probably gonna seek more downside here. Let's see. They're trying to hold the Asia high, so it could be something, but we need to see it trading higher for sure. ASAP. These lows here too exposed. I think they're going to be targeted, so it's not an ideal moment to enter. I think in a trade right now just needs a lot of patience. Nasdaq reacting, liquidity sweep here on the 3-minute. Lots of exposed lows here. This was actually a very nice buy here earlier. Beautiful, beautiful buy actually. But they stopped it. They stopped it right about here with the 10-minute opening. Let's see. Yeah, lots of exposed lows here. This could be quite annoying. All right, Bitcoin picking up some momentum here. I like that. It is kind of empty for a market start, so it could be a fake pump here. We'll see. You know, Bitcoin is just one of these assets that's just faking out so much. So much. So they could get a rejection right about here right now. Seems like a supply zone, so let's see. Yeah, the new 3-minute is rejecting immediately. Internally, it looks okay. Let's see. I mean, honestly, I don't really need to chase price at the moment. I'm positioned really well on the long and the short side. So I think that was quite key for me to do. All just keeps climbing. That's not gonna be quite ideal. Let's have a look here. We have both sides of the liquidity. Yeah, Bobby's trading DAX as usual. It's ranging quite a bit. It's kind of maintaining here, but not very good. It's kind of like a very ugly range at the moment. Yeah. Maybe they're gonna push it. Maybe they're gonna push it to grab that. If they do, it's gonna be interesting to see if they can maintain or not. But so far, you know, it's kind of holding up, to be fair. It's kind of holding up. Yeah. It's gonna be an interesting day. Bruce Lee says, be like water. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. That's what I'm trying to do always. I think it's key to just be calm and read the tape, not be so obsessed with what is price doing. I mean, what is your let's say your gains. Nvidia is picking up here from a key level. You have some sort of demand that's showing up, which is not bad, but you do need more evidence, kind of like DAX, but on the opposite side. It really doesn't look that hot at the moment. They really need to hold that level. If they don't, you know, we can see a lot more downside, like a 168, I think, could be a potential 184. 184 is going to be the first target here if they do that. You have lots of gaps here. I think 184, 168 could be something if they don't pick up momentum right now. Hello, Mark Bassi. Yeah, no, emotions are a complete no-go. Like we were saying earlier in Discord, like it's extremely important to have your emotions regulated, because if you don't, you can get caught. You can get caught in the move. You're gonna make emotional decisions. Your nervous system needs to be very strong, very regulated. You almost have to be like, not care about the outcome in terms of money more than what the tape is doing and what makes sense and what doesn't. And if your nervous system is not regulated, if you're, you know, heavily caffeinated, if you are worried about other things, if you haven't had good sleep, it's very hard to maintain that profitability in that kind of state of mind. It's yeah, so we're reacting from supply right now. It's not really great. They could clear the moves. I think here, yeah, it's gonna be quite interesting to see to what extent they can maintain price. If I have to draw a range here, it's gonna be a little bit difficult. It still is difficult to do that, but essentially, right, if I have to consider a mini range here, I think it's gonna be this. I think it's gonna be this if they're planning to kind of keep price in a range. 65,000, so my interest 65,200, so that's gonna expose my short a little bit if they decide to push price up and then reject. So that was a really good observation. So what I need to do is I probably need to remove my stop loss from break even and give it a little bit more space. A little bit more space, I would say 65,900, I think, which is gonna be fine even if that happens, because my long is, I have way more exposure on the longs at the moment. So I have multitude of longs and only one short. Only one short. So everything else is pretty much longs with me at the moment. But that short is quite key at the moment, I think. So I need to make sure that it's not exposed to a potential closure if they push price up. Welcome everyone. Make sure to smash the like button, say hi in the chat box. If you're new here, welcome. And also make sure to share the stream around, because I don't know, I feel like YouTube is not circulating live streams that much, which is annoying because, yeah, I mean, I can record pre-recorded videos for you guys, but A, it's too much work, and B, it's not engaging. Like it's nice if we can just talk in the chat box together. Everyone says what they're thinking, what are they expecting, because amongst us, we have also some really good and successful traders, right, in the community as well. So their view is also important. Okay, so you had the sweep here of these disgusting little lows that I pointed out are going to be probably swept earlier. but that's not even worth for a scalp down here because price is extremely terrible at the moment. Yes, thank you, Stanimir, for the shout out on X as well. I've been trying to hang out on X, but it hasn't been very interesting lately. I mean, I open X and there is like one source of news that is currently happening. Let's say today we have the FOMC, okay? And then I have 15,000 influencers just posting the exact same thing. FOMC today, 2:30, FOMC today, 2:30, FOMC today, 2:30. And I'm just like, oh my God. It's way less more opinions nowadays rather than just, you know, they're just repeating the news. Like, give me your opinion on something. I think that'll be quite amazing to see. Let's see what's happening with the Zcash trade actually. Retraced quite a bit, trading below key levels as well. So, socials are making me crazy. No, dude, I'm like totally staying away from it. I'm telling you, like I don't, because my algorithms is mostly with like animals that need help and things like that, because I deeply care about these things and I donate a lot. Like I caught myself last month, I was like, okay, I need to stop donating too much because you know, only me is not gonna make the difference. I mean, I do make a difference for sure, but it's making a difference also in my bank account. So I'm just like, and it also screws my mood a lot, you know? I just get so angry. Like people just abandoning, you know, their pets and things like that. Come on, I don't need to hear about that. But yeah, X hasn't been very helpful with a lot of information. Dr. Queen. That's very cool. I like that. I like that. Okay, so we're pushing here. Let's have a look at what's happening with gold. Gold is not ready to push yet. I think the trade is going to come with FOMC, honestly, so it's going to be a little bit later today, but I'm going to be heavily monitoring here because there will be opportunities. I'm pretty sure. How are we doing on likes? We're missing about 5 likes, you guys. Come on, let's push it. Oh yeah, oil is looking bullish as hell at the moment. Not great, not great for gold. So let's see what could be the bearish scenario here. 445, it was amazing. Like it gave a really good short. Not once, twice. Actually, 445, if you remember, you guys, we had a long from the 4045. That was last week. And now we're kind of bearishly retesting it, so price is looking very weak at the moment. So that was the ideal short entry, I'd say, if you're looking to chase lower liquidity here. But there might be a little more. This retrace down here also was not too bad for a short on a lower time frame when I think about it. But it's gonna be quite difficult to catch that trade at the beginning. But you guys, like we said, we gotta be very careful today. We have, you know, the bearish scenario and the bullish scenario. Bearish outcome, in my opinion, a little bit more possible because you can't really deliver that dovish message when you have oil just elevated like that because of the escalations. It's just, to me, it doesn't really make sense for him to not address that. So I'm leaning a little bit bearish today. See how that goes. Market can be unpredictable. We'll see. Everything at key zones, like they might get a push and then reject one more time. it is very possible for S&P 500, the 12 hourly. Yeah. Again, you know, you do have the sweep above here. You do have the double retest that usually happens. It's just not looking very solid at the moment. Nvidia, better hold right here if it doesn't look that great. Meta, yeah, at a buy zone for sure, but it's kind of a very big buy zone. So they could drop it for sure within this region. It's quite a big of a buy zone, I'd say. Amazon as well is starting to look a little bit exposed. They're making that lower high. It's just not looking that awesome. 5 more likes. Yeah, we can totally make that. All right, let's maintain here the lower time frame just to see what's happening. All right, there is a push. Ethereum a little bit weaker at the moment. We'll see, but that's probably not too bad because even if they drop down, sweep the Asia low here, that could be not too bad for Bitcoin if it continues to outperform today. Very key, right? Even at the lower time frame range to reject from the 0.5 to seek that upside. But yesterday was quite interesting. It was awesome. It was so great. That drop down here, I was like, oh my god, that's so for the buy right now. You had the consolidation here, some bullish intention, and then just send it one more time. Of course, kept the true month open, which is generally very bullish, but you do need to see that retest up here at the DS. So 64.8, 64.974, like that's kind of the area, the key areas that I'll be observing. There is liquidity up here. You could be retesting. So yeah, I need to definitely remove my stop loss from break even here just in case, because you will be getting in a bearish territory, in a supply territory. What's your view on FOMC? What's your view on FOMC? Yeah, so my view on FOMC, I discussed several times, but you know, let's do it one more time. Okay, so there is a bullish scenario that we have, and in my opinion, the bullish scenario is going to be gold. Just pick a question, bro. Like, pick a question. So FOMC, like I said, I think, you know, we have a bullish and a bearish scenario, and the bullish one is going to be rates are unchanged, but then, you know, he kind of avoids talking about another hike, and oil also needs to cool down. If that doesn't happen, if he starts being hawkish, even if the rates are unchanged, God forbids he mention a rate hike, the markets are not going to see that as a very positive message. Gold, of course, we keep discussing constantly. You know, higher time frame, there is a possibility of upside for sure. On gold, there is possibility that we're able to maintain that range up here and chase for 4,200. I think it is a possibility that we swing sub 3,941, and we might regain the range very fast. And I think that is going to be like the preferred, you know, long trade for me today if that happens. You know, there is a possibility that they might hold the demand zones up here, but it's going to become a little too risky to retest them. It has to be very clear low time frame, like 1 minute, 5 minute signal that I'm going to be watching out for. And they do come. So, you know, that could be it. It could be right about now. It could be that they drop price to lower levels and then recover very fast from that for another lower high. And then, you know, I think the ultimate buy, not the ultimate buy, but the better buy is going to be at 3,887. Like it could be a deep, not exactly 3,887, but there needs to be evidence that this area holds. I think that could be also good. But generally, yeah. Generally, higher time frame is not looking precisely bullish, okay? But, you know, buyers keep stepping in for gold at levels that, you know, they should give up, basically. But they're trying to maintain gold at the moment at these levels above 3,900 970. Like they're just trying to maintain above, which is good, right? But they're losing steam very heavily, and higher time frame is suggesting that they might find that support down here. But if it gets really volatile, they might start looking for that support below 3,887. Okay, which is probably, if that happens, right, then maybe we can see 4,222. But when that happens, lots of supply here, and we could see another leg low, right? Like that's, you know, it's not going to be exactly like that, but these are sort of the trades that I'm looking for at the moment. Okay, as you can see, they're just like pushing it deeper. They've already tried to react one time. They could react one more time within that demand zone, a little bit lower. It really is possible. But for me, the easiest trade is going to be once they start trading below. I'm going to look for the reaction here. Maybe one go, maybe they bring it one more time, and you know, that could be more likely. We'll see. Come on, you guys, we're missing about 4 likes. Say hi in the chat box if you're new here. Welcome. So happy to have you here, guys. You have a bullish scenario. Okay, what's the bullish scenario? I'm very happy to hear it. I also have the, you know, the bullish scenario. I'm hoping it plays out. I think it's going to be good, but for now, lower time frame, it does need a little bit more. I think you've basically deviated above Asia high. Now you're trading below Asia low, so you've cleared both sides. And we'll see if they're about to find any support here. The new 10-minute is not happy at all. So the closest to a candle opening we have on the 3-minute. And yeah, 3-minute over here, you did have a nice deviation. So you had the liquidity formation, you deviated below the support, you grabbed the liquidity, and then you lost it one more time. So that, again, you have so many trading setups, like you have really no excuse. Millennium Bear, we're gonna work at McDonald's. Nobody's gonna work at McDonald's, dude. Super intelligence is coming. Come on, you guys, we're missing about 4 likes. Nobody's gonna work. According to Elon, you know, we're going to enter in an age of abundance and nobody's gonna have to work. I mean, that's the, you know, the bullish scenario, of course. The bearish scenario is not very good. But yeah, you know, like I'm super excited actually on what is going to happen, because it's going to be a massive change and it's going to happen very soon. Okay, we had a recovery here on Bitcoin. That's good. Need to learn TikTok dances. Well, I don't know. TikTok is being a very difficult platform at the moment. All right, good. Longs are printing. I'm happy, dude. This is great. This is great. I have both trades running here. Very good. Very good. Okay, I can't do that. That's fine. You're skeptical about what Elon is saying? I don't know. I think he knows what he's talking about. There's some very good points that he's making, in my opinion, that there needs to be some sort of regulation, that, you know, all of these AI agents need to be involved with the government, because the government has no idea what they're talking about when it comes to AI. They don't understand it as good. I mean, I would assume they probably, if they really have teleportation that they're, you know, hiding from us, maybe they understand AI way better than we do, or maybe way better than Elon does, but it just seems a bit unrealistic. So, oh, that's why my keyboard is again quitting on me. I think I know why, but that's okay. So, Savas doesn't trust him. Who do you trust? Sam Altman? Who's your pick? Which team are you on? This is still bearish though, yeah. Okay, we're gonna see how this develops. And quite a bit of intention here, so it might hold for continuation up, we'll see. Seriously, they said they might have... No, they didn't say that. Like, there's people on X that I'm watching that are adamant that there is... Oh, here we go. Let's go. We didn't hear the bullish cheeses from, what was his name? Panda. Panda. There is another panda here. Whether it's our panda, we don't know. Okay, so this is dropping. That's not too bad, honestly. That probably is going to give a better entry. With gold dropping, I do wonder what's going to happen with Bitcoin here. But it's holding. Ethereum has more liquidity to the downside. I do actually have one prop firm account that I need to test. So maybe I'm gonna do that. But I do like seeing gold here dropping. That's not too bad. Let's see when and where. Yeah, down here could be a potential bounce actually. Sense because oil is pretty bullish. Okay, cool. So I guess they're gonna chase the lows here. That's fine. Let's see. This was a nice short up here though on the 15-minute as well. Like we said, 40-45. Very beautiful, you know. But you get this on a daily. Like it's not, when I see that, I'm like, oh, I don't go like, oh no, I missed that. I'm like, okay, fine. There's gazillion of those opportunities, like non-stop. So we're gonna wait a little bit to see if they can sweep here and maintain the zone. Crypto is still trying to push up. Let's see if it's going to retest true week open here and completely collapse. That's going to be interesting to see. What is this based on? Nothing really at the moment. Ooh, not a very good opening for Dow Jones either. That's a broad de-risking at the moment. That's not good. Because at least we saw some rotation into the Dow in the last few days, which was important, meaning that traders were just running away specifically from the AI trade. But they were still happy to get into the more safer bets. And now they're just like, hell nah. The Fed's gonna sound hawkish and the market's gonna dump. That's what they're thinking. That's what it looks like. Add to that the Middle East, I don't know. Like, honestly, that's just such a recipe for a massive disaster right now. It's absolutely insane. You guys, all right, cool. I'm gonna be on Discord and I'm gonna be trading the FOMC and following up very closely. You guys, if you're not on Discord, make sure to come gabbytrades.com. You can find the link under the description box of this video. You can get your VIP with TX Flow sign up. Remember, TX Flow, we are early, which is very good for the point system that they will have eventually, and we're gonna be the ones holding the most points. So so happy to see you here again, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.